Welcome to our channel. Watch the video until the end. Leave a like and subscribe to support us. What nations come to mind when you think about the world's least valuable currencies? Argentina and Venezuela are notable examples.
Have you ever heard of a country with high inflation and low purchasing power? Yes, such a country exists in Africa. Zimbabwe is a state in southern Africa, surrounded by various countries and landlocked. This nation, officially called the Republic of Zimbabwe, covers an area of 390,000 square kilometers and has a population of about 14 million people. During the 1880s, Zimbabwe was a British colony. The native Africans eventually gained a majority in parliament and the assembly despite British dominance in the region for some time. However, Zimbabwe failed to become economically stable after gaining independence from Britain in 1980. This allowed internal corruption to spread and led to the collapse of the currency. The British settlers had established modern agriculture as the base of the local economy. When these settlers were expelled, Zimbabweans attempted to develop without any accumulated knowledge, which undoubtedly was unsuccessful. The UK and the US, which imposed a variety of sanctions on Zimbabwe, were a severe blow for this nationalist behavior. To control the economy and pay salaries, the Zimbabwean government continued to print money. By printing more money, their banknotes became increasingly devalued compared to other foreign currencies, leading to an inflation increase of hundreds of percentages, and the concept of purchasing power disappeared. People took to the streets when the country fell into chaos and security issues arose. They had a Zimbabwean dollar, and its value increased so much that a piece of toilet paper could be worth 100 trillion Zimbabwean dollars. The banknotes they printed were no longer useful. Therefore, in 2009, the government officially suspended the Zimbabwean dollar and officially replaced it with the US dollar. However, this did not solve the underlying problems. So, what can be done to reduce inflation in Zimbabwe? The population is limited in withdrawing money from banks, and it is strictly forbidden for people to have control over their own bank accounts, effectively locking them out. Remember that in the 1940s, Hungary had the world's most depreciated currency. Zimbabwe then took this position. Hungary managed to come out of this abyss, but Zimbabwe has deteriorated even more. The United States printed $7 trillion during the 2020 pandemic, but the dollar did not depreciate. The U.S. government provided the population with a significant amount of cash and paid salaries on time. The U.S. dollar is the strongest currency in the world today. By printing money to pay off debts, countries like Zimbabwe see their currencies depreciate, increasing living costs. We can say that Zimbabwe is one of the poorest countries in Africa. Most people live below the poverty line. The inflation rate of this country is currently about 55%. But last year it reached 190%, an absurd figure. To enter the country, it is necessary to obtain a visa on arrival, which costs about $30. However, due to the high poverty rate of the country, which results in unsafe roads and outdated urban systems, Zimbabwe is not a popular destination.
But why do Americans suffer almost nothing when they print money? In fact, the large-scale production of the country is responsible for the stability of the American dollar. Moreover, the dollar never undergoes a significant devaluation because the whole world trades in American dollars. The British pound was the main world trade currency in the past, but after World War II, the US dollar took full control of the global market. Zimbabwe has started minting gold coins to avoid depending entirely on the US dollar. These gold coins are a hope to improve the economic situation. If you find this method of transport unsafe, the average taxi fare in the capital is about $20, but traveling by taxi is not safe in the country. When you take a taxi to tour the city, people will approach your window trying to sell something. Consequently, the torrid heat of Zimbabwe, which can reach 40 degrees Celsius, might make you close the windows. Moreover, at traffic lights, both vehicles and pedestrians pay little attention. Some accelerate with a red light, while others jump in front of cars to cross. Some of them even ask for money without selling anything, using their children to beg. This is truly chaos while traveling in the country. You will always be in visual contact with young and adult Africans who are unemployed and sitting on the sidewalks, watching the world around them. Indeed, walking through the city center gives the impression that the country is developed, with offices, shops, new constructions,
cars, and much more, but unfortunately, this is just a small group of luxury that the nation possesses. In the Global Happiness Index, this nation ranks among the last places.
No one wants to go there. Lebanon and Afghanistan are in worse conditions in this ranking.
Infectious diseases linked to the lack of hygiene are the main cause of premature deaths in the country, whose average life expectancy is only 61 years, with HIV/AIDS being the most prevalent. Pictures of Zimbabwe's presidents are scattered everywhere, even at airports.
Old white vans are used for public transport. These vans shout through the streets to attract customers since their routes are uncertain. These vans can accommodate an average of 15 people but can reach up to 20 when crowded. People live in apartments without washing machines and have rooms where they wash clothes together. Most apartments lack balconies, so you can see what everyone is doing when you enter any building in Zimbabwe. And while some people may be hospitable, others simply ignore your presence. Obviously, you should not bring expensive cameras or other valuables in this type of environment, as this is their world and no one can protect you or help your devices. Therefore, in many places, even in the capital, it may be difficult to find Wi-Fi internet service. Blackouts are occasional or permanent, even in the more densely populated areas of the country. They attempt to purchase power from neighboring countries in Africa, but this does not provide a lasting solution. Living in apartments or using a car is good for getting closer to the contemporary era, but it does not meet basic needs. For example, at any gas station in the capital, there are endless queues. You will lose hours unnecessarily, especially if you run out of gas and have to queue up, which can be extremely frustrating. Moreover, it is necessary to use trains to travel between cities, but even at the stations, the train schedules are handwritten on a chalkboard. There are no electronic ticketing systems available, the seats of the trains are worn, the colors are faded, and there is a smell of mold. The national shopping centers are completely different from traditional malls. The old shopping centers in the capital function as places for meetings and relaxation. The local flavors are strong here, with an emphasis on rice and a lot of meat, mainly chicken and beef. The culture of using utensils is almost non-existent. Meals are consumed with hands, making it seem like nations in Southeast Asia, such as India and Bangladesh. If the meat does not seem safe to you and you have concerns about the quality and hygiene of the meat, there are plenty of fruits at the markets. Peanuts are also a food that you can safely eat and stay full, as the supermarkets in the country often have empty shelves. You can find these products in small local shops. Large well-known stores simply do not invest in the country, which results in a lack of jobs in the sector. People therefore sell goods on the street or engage in illegal foreign currency exchange to earn a living. The earnings of these people are around $50–70 a month. Victoria Falls is one of the greatest natural wonders between Zambia and Zimbabwe in Africa. This area attracts thousands of tourists annually. Naturally, everyone goes crazy to see its grandeur and all its beauty. Victoria Falls got its name from the Scottish explorer David Livingstone, who was the first European to see them in 1855. He then chose the name Victoria for the beautiful waterfalls in honor of his queen at the time. They are truly impressive, places where nature is generous and man becomes small in the face of such majesty. In a region full of incredible attractions, this is definitely a trip to make. Based on this, it is easy to say that Zimbabwe is one of the most backward countries in the world to live in and visit. Life there will not improve quickly, it might take decades. Unfortunately, it is a reality that reflects the economic and social difficulties that the country is facing. Comment below what you think about this documentary, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel.